Last month I went back up to my home state of Maine. And while I was there, I spent a lot of time visiting with family and friends that I don't normally get to see. There was one day in particular that I wanted to share with you guys. It was when my friend Mandy took me to a MOFGA event in Unity, Maine. And there we got a ton of free organic food and learned so much about how to live in tune with Mother Nature that I felt like I had to share it. So the day started around 8 o'clock when my friend Mandy picked me up from my parents' house and we drove to Unity, Maine together. And we made it to the Maine Organic Farmers and Gardeners Association plot where they were having their homestead and farming day. So we got there, we unfortunately made it too late to mow the grass with scythes, although that may have been interesting. Not something that I was personally interested in, so I wasn't too bummed that we missed it. So we had a choice of many workshops. They were all free. This whole event was free, which was amazing. They offered sustainable living skills from whittling wooden spoons to gardening classes and basically anything you could think of in between. My friend and I went to a forage walk as our first workshop, and there we learned how to identify plants and how to use guidebooks to help you identify edible and non-edible plants.
Actually really helpful. So we're gonna start and we're gonna look at the flower.
We also got to try a plant off of the ground that I thought was a clover.
Oh no, but that's perfect because I can bring it to the cookie making tray.
How is it?
And you can see the roots.
So good. All right, I'm gonna eat one now.
Pretty yellow.
Can I just pick any of these, like this one?
Yeah. So we got yellow root, and we got the...
After that, my friend and I just kind of explored the whole layout of the place, and we stopped in on a few different workshops, just looking and checking things out. After that was a free potluck lunch, and it was awesome because there were so many different types of food, and they're all pretty much homemade. There was omnivore section, a vegetarian section, and a vegan section, and all of the lines had so much to choose from. I actually chose to do an entirely plant-based meal, which is probably a first for me. I don't know if I've ever intentionally eaten an entirely plant-based meal, but I was feeling especially sustainable that day, so I decided to go plant-based. I tried my first edible flower.
My first time eating a flower.
Hello. And I also had some pretty good baked beans and like Thai noodle dish. Yeah, lots of quinoa and like bean dishes that were really yummy and pretty much all organic. I didn't bring a plate or utensils because I did kind of assume that they would be using like real plates and stuff just because of the type of event it was, but in retrospect I probably should not have assumed that. They were using like compostable plates, which is fine, and they did have a compost pile right there. They had like a whole wheelbarrow where you could dump all of your food scraps and they were gonna go compost it, which was awesome. They did have real silverware, but I feel like I should have brought a real plate with me, but oh well, the next time I will know. So after lunch, my friend and I went to a plant swap where they just had like seedlings that you could bring home with you for free. And then after the plant swap, I went to a worm composting workshop while my friend went to a fermenting workshop for kombucha and kefir. And I can't really talk about hers because I didn't really learn that much about it, but I learned a lot about worm composting, and I feel like it's actually so much simpler than I had thought it was. And I'm not sure if worm composting though is for me because I do live in a place that gets cold in the winter, and I mean obviously Maine gets cold in the winter too, but I live here in an apartment where I don't have a garage. I'm not sure if I want to risk the worms escaping onto like my indoor floors, like especially during the winter when I'd keep them inside. So yeah, I learned a lot about it and I'm glad I did, but I'm not sure if worm composting is for me, and now I know that. Either way, it was a great day and I'm so glad I went. I just thought this was a really cool experience, and I learned a lot about how I can live more in tune with the environment. I definitely think that the foraging walk opened my mind to like how many plants are around us and what we consider to be edible and what we don't consider to be edible. And I think that's something that's like really important to think about, especially going into the future with a growing world population and just what we consider food. We're gonna have to rethink, and I think the foraging walk really helped, really opened my mind to that, I guess I'll say. Also, it was my first purposefully plant-based meal. I definitely would love to start making more plant-based meals for myself, and I think I'm gonna make it a goal for this school year to only bring plant-based breakfast and lunches to school with me. So yeah, I just got inspired by seeing this whole spread, this whole potluck spread of organic plant-based food, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's so yummy. I need more of this in my life. So I hope you enjoyed this vlog style story time video of me getting free organic food and learning about sustainable skills. If you did enjoy this, please give it a thumbs up and leave a comment down below about something that you found interesting or something you'd like to know more about. I would definitely love to expand on this experience and maybe, you know, dive deeper into some subjects. So if anything that I mentioned interests you, I would love to expand on it with you and explore it. Anyway, I hope I see you in my next video. Thank you for watching. Bye.